Hello, today we're going to talk about carrots and parsnips. So there's a little bit of a trick to planting them. The seeds have a specific hard casing that requires you to break them down. So we're going to do an early an early carrot called Purple Haze, this purple guy, best eaten raw. And we're going to do a parsnip called True and Pure. So the trick to doing both carrots and parsnips is to pre-germinate the seed. So as I said, there's a thick cuticle over the carrot seed. So what you need to do is put the dried carrot seeds into a container and pour just boiled water onto them. So very hot, just gone off the boiled water on top of them. Leave them for an hour. This hot water will break down that cuticle, and then you can place the seeds, as I have here, onto some wet kitchen roll or cotton wool. You then cover them, keep that moist, and over the next while they'll start to germinate, so they'll develop little shoots and roots, and then you can put them straight into the soil. Carrots don't like to be grown in pods or pots, and they don't transplant well. So you can pre-germinate them and plant them, or plant them directly, but they don't like to be transported or moved. Carrots are the same, and you can see with the carrot seeds they're slightly bigger. And what we did with these is on wet cotton wool, we just placed them. Carrot or parsnip seeds can take up to a month to germinate. So just if you're direct planting them, just be aware of that. So sometimes people think they mightn't have worked, whereas they're just taking a small bit of time. So in order for any seed to germinate, water must go into the seed through a small hole called a micropyle. The seed then swells and the water activates enzymes within the seed which start the germination process. So by placing these on wet kitchen roll and keeping them moist, you're encouraging them to germinate. So once they've germinated, we're going to put these ones just in a container, and you can see with them I've planted some garlic in the middle. So garlic or any of the onion family is the perfect companion for carrots or parsnips. So the carrots and parsnips suffer from a pest known as carrot root fly. The carrot root fly can smell the carrots from a considerable distance and is attracted to the sweet aroma when you're tinning or working or pulling carrots. The strong smell of the garlic family deters the carrot root fly. So by planting them close together, it will deter the carrot root fly from approaching and infecting your carrots. So furthermore, if you're doing anything with carrots like tinning them, it's important to crush or tear a few of the onion or garlic leaves. This will allow the garlicky or onion smell to cover the air, and it deters the carrot root fly. The second thing that deters the carrot root fly is height. So they don't fly over 2 feet. So if you have a raised bed, or if you put them in a pot or a container like this and raise it off the ground past 2 feet, you will fool the carrot root fly, and it won't be able to infect your carrots. When you're doing carrots in direct sowing into raised beds, I would recommend doing long drills, and you can plant a seed and then pour boiling water over it, and this again will break down that cuticle and speed up germination. The carrots should germinate within 2 weeks. The parsnips will take that a little bit longer, and up to a month. So it's recommended that you might plant a quick catch crop between the parsnip rows, something like radish. So the radishes will have grown and be taken out of the ground before the parsnips germinate, so just maximising your space. The other thing that carrots like, and parsnips, is a very sandy and poor nutrient soil. So you might recognise carrots that have kind of 5 parts coming out of them, little legs. That's usually down to being too much nutrients in the soil. So carrots being a root crop, the carrot is the root and it chases the nutrients in the soil. So by giving it a poor nutrient soil, you allow for thicker and straighter carrots. The other thing is that they don't like stones. So if a stone hits a carrot, or a carrot hits a stone, it will either make the carrot fork or it will envelop the stone within the carrot, and when you bite into it, the stone will remain. So in order to combat that, so whether you're doing a raised bed or a container like this, you will use a very spent compost. So maybe a grow bag that you had tomatoes in last year, or in a root crop rotation system, you'll put the carrots in the year after the cabbage. So the cabbage will have used up all the nutrients. But in this case, I put a spent compost like a grow bag and fill it half with sand as well. Mix it thoroughly, and then you have a nice sandy substrate for the carrots and parsnips. The carrots and parsnips can be left in the ground until needed. So if you have to pick them, you can store them in a box full of sand until ready to eat, but best left in the ground. So parsnips particularly, the flavour of them is meant to improve after a frost, so they get slightly sweeter if they've been subject to a frost. So again, companion planting any of the onion families, so garlic, onions, chives, leeks, etc. And remember to tear some of the leaves of that family when doing any work with carrots, whether thinning them or picking them, because you inevitably break some of the carrot leaf and that will attract the carrot root fly. So again, just to reiterate, in order to speed up germination, you're pre-soaking the seeds, and with the carrots you're pouring very hot water over them and leaving them in for an hour, and that will break down the cuticle before you leave them soaking. So keep these wet until they germinate and they can be planted right in. So a half an inch deep in that sandy soil mixture. And other than that, all you need is a decent depth of soil to get decent carrots, and they should be relatively hassle-free. So thank you very much.